After we set the drawing unit, the next thing we're going to do is set up our status bar. Now, we're going to take a look at half of the tools of the status bar for you to easily understand and not be overwhelmed by all the tools we have. We're going to focus only on these icons here because these tools help control how we draw, how we snap, and how we view our workspace. Since we don't need some of these tools for now, we will discover that later on as we go throughout the course. So now let's begin. Here, we have the first icon, which displays a grid line. This grid serves as a visual guide and helps you position objects more easily, as shown here. You can toggle it on or off by clicking this icon. For now, I'm going to turn it on. The next icon we have is the snap mode on the drawing grid. When this is on, your cursor locks onto the grid points, giving you precise control over placement, but it makes your cursor feel restricted or sticky. I show you why, and you can try it out for yourself. As you can see here, the snap mode forces the cursor to jump from one grid point to another. I recommend turning it off. The next thing we have here is this dynamic input. It might not be visible in your status bar, so go to the customization on the far right, then make sure that the dynamic input is checked. So we have a lot of different tools here in the status bar, and only the tools that are checked will show up here in the status bar. So this tool is a dynamic input. When it's turned on, it displays dimensions and command options right beside your cursor. It basically acts like a mini command line, so you don't have to look down at the actual command line. Let me show you exactly how it works. For example, if I start typing a command, the list of commands will pop up right over here near my cursor. I will select this line, and as you can see, we have an instruction right here beside the cursor telling me to specify the first point. I'll click the first point here, and now another instruction pops up right over here, telling me to specify the next point. This is helpful because I can immediately type a distance or angle directly beside the cursor, or I can visually see the value changing as I move my mouse. For now, I'll press Escape to cancel. We'll go into more detail about dynamic input in the upcoming lessons, but for now, make sure this tool is turned on. We also have Ortho mode right here, and this tool allows you to draw perfectly horizontal or vertical lines. When Ortho mode is turned on, it restricts your cursor movement to only horizontal or vertical directions. The next icon we have is the polar tracking mode. It helps you draw at specific angles. When activated, guidelines appear at preset angles like 30 degrees, 45 degrees, or 90 degrees. For now, I'm going to select this preset 45 degrees. Take note that you can only use one of these tools at a time. So if Ortho is active, polar tracking will not work, and vice versa. Let me show you an example so you can clearly see the difference between these tools. I will turn on the Ortho mode first. I'm going to select the line tool here. I'll start to draw a line, and as I move my mouse, the line snaps only horizontally or vertically. Even if I try to draw diagonally, AutoCAD locks it into a straight horizontal or vertical path. Now I'm going to select the polar tracking mode. As you'll notice, light green tracking lines appearing when my cursor reaches angles of 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, and so on. Because of these preset angles, I select it over here. For now, I simply press the Escape key to cancel the line command. We have here the icon called Object Snap Tracking. You can hover over snap points and use temporary reference alignment paths to help you place objects perfectly. Make sure to turn it on. The next one is the Object Snap, also called OSnap in the short term. It helps to automatically detect important points on objects, like endpoints, midpoints, and so on. This makes your drawing snap on the drawing more accurately. So when we click this little upside down triangle, we can see the list of object snaps that we can snap. For now, you can turn on all of the snaps. Let me give you a simple example so you can understand it clearly. I'll draw a straight line first. Now I'll select the line tool again. As I hover my cursor over the line's midpoint, a small green triangle appears, indicating that Object Snap is active. When I move my mouse cursor away, a temporary reference line appears, indicating that snap tracking is active. Now, when I click to place my new point right over here, the point snaps perfectly in line with the midpoint I just tracked. I didn't have to guess. If my starting line was perfectly in the middle of this line, I hope that makes sense. Before I forget, you can also see the shortcut keys for some of the tools right here. When you hover your mouse over an icon, you'll notice the shortcut key shown in parentheses, just like what you see here. For example, over here, the shortcut for Object Snap is F3, and the shortcut for Object Snap Tracking is F11. Many of the tools here also have their own shortcut keys. Just hover over the icon to see its shortcut key, so you can quickly turn them on or off without clicking the icons. Make sure that some of the tools here are turned on. And that's a quick overview of some of the tools in the status bar. Knowing what these tools do will make your workflow smoother and help you draw more efficiently. In the next lesson, we'll move on and learn about the coordinate system in AutoCAD.